What's going on, everyone? Dustin Koppel here, and I'm the Traveling Disc Golfer. Today we're playing South Springs Disc Golf Course, which is in Flint, Texas, over at South Springs Baptist Church. But before we get started, we have an amazing giveaway. We have a Sarah Hokum signed Crave, and then a purple zone to go with it. In this video, I'm doing a Crave challenge where I'm only going to be throwing another Crave. Don't worry, I'm not throwing the autographed one that you guys can win. So, all you got to do is subscribe and comment in this video. If you're already subscribed, you still have a chance to win. But huge parking lot, cool putting area. Now, also, this course has really good navigation. 4 different spots to tee off from. Red, blue, white, and yellow, or golds, excuse me. But very easy to navigate. So here we go. Hole 1, this is 337. Now, this course, all 18 holes are going to be in the wood. All 18 holes are going to be very challenging and demand accuracy. So this one, pretty straightforward shot. Going to need a little bit of a flex. The Crave that I'm throwing is a little understable. It's a pretty light one. It's about 165. So I was able to get through the initial gap. Just got a little tree kick there and was able to finish that one with the par. But hole 2, 263. Now, they call it South Springs because there is quite a few creeks that run through here in Springs, as you guys can tell. But this one, there is a spring right behind it. But once again, another gap that you got to hit. Ended up making the gap, but hit one of the last trees. Got to kick into the woods. So throwing a fireball here as a roller to get out. Was just able to hook up, have it start curving. Was really excited that I did not go into that creek. So I was able to finish that hole with a par. So hole 3, 267, they have a big out of bounds area right there. That area wasn't that flooded today, but you can kind of see to the right where those white posts were. And originally I wasn't even paying attention to the sign. I had no idea that it was there. I just will walk up, take a photo, see the basket, and throw. And I end up just catching a tree and was maybe a foot away from going out of bounds. But this one has 2 different lines that you can throw, sidearm or backhand, and it kind of shapes up really well from the gold position up on top of this hill. Just got to watch out for that creek if you go backhand if you're a right-handed player. So hole 4, this is 443, par 4. This one is a pretty tricky one. As you can tell, tons of trees, very skinny fairway. Was able to get off the tee okay here, and ended up getting just an unfortunate tree kick at the very last second. I'm just literally maybe like 5 feet off the fairway, but it's a very difficult one. You are in gel. Threw a roller there. Had to try to make something happen because that roller, the way that it shapes, it goes back downhill, and ended up in the rough again. So took my first bogey there, and at this point I was getting a little discouraged, not gonna lie. I was thinking, wow, this is a pretty tough course, which it definitely is if you're throwing a Crave. So here we go. 301, creek is on the left side the whole entire way down there. Got to be cautious of that. But they have, anytime there is a creek, they'll have these disc retrievers there for you, which is really cool. They just ask that you put them back, of course. So they have those scattered throughout the course, which is just, they do a lot of awesome touches here. So laying up another par on that one. So here we go, 395, par 4, which seemed a little silly, but once you actually play this, I mean, you are going uphill, and then it's going to be a really sharp dogleg right all the way down. I do think an eagle here would be very, 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 very difficult to get, especially just how tight these fairways are. You'd have to have like a 100-foot throw-in most likely, just because of the angle that it turns. But ended up just outside of the fairway again when I was laying up there. This putt is for par. I was able to cash it in. So hole 7, this is going to be about 280. Just another tight shot. Very unique design, and you're going to find yourself throwing a lot of different shots here, from flexes to forehands, straight shots, big hyzers, you name it, you're going to have to throw it. very well designed course with the woods, and just ended up a little right of it. Had a chance at birdie from probably about 60 feet away, but settled for a par. So here we go, hole 8. This is downhill, 280. Pretty straightforward shot, and then it'll start to finish at the end there. So I'm glad that it's understable, because I can throw it and it'll ride and then finish left. And I was able to park this one, cashing in my first birdie. So it took 8 holes to finally get a birdie, but that puts me back at even. Felt really good. And there is a creek right behind it, so if you do go out of bounds, you do have the drop zone right here. So and once again, they have these maps everywhere. It's just they put a lot into this course, and a lot of nice little touches like that. So all right, here we go, hole 9. This is another tough par 4. Very, very, very tight gap that you have to hit right off the beginning. And then once you get up to this hill, it's a really sharp dog leg left, and then kind of comes back right just a little bit at the end. So I ended up making the gap, but had a tree kick, and I wasn't quite in the fairway, so I'm throwing a paradox there on sidearm, and I ended up hitting a rock, and it kicked me to the right towards the basket. So I had a chance for a birdie and was able to cash that in. So 1 under going in. Now on the back 9, we do have some special guests that you're going to be seeing. My sister and my niece actually decided to join on the back 9, so really excited about that. So hole 10, you're on top of the hill. To the right, pretty somewhat steep drop off in some areas, but did not ended up going down there. So here we go, take 1, take 2. I think we're at double bogey now, triple bogey, quad, I don't know, I lost count there, but hey, she finally made it, so I'm excited about that one. So here we go, hole 11, gonna be roughly about 280-ish. So starting to make our way downhill, creek to the right, but it's going to be going to the left slightly, so that's why you keep throwing me this side, seeing me throw the sidearm. It's understable. So had a look, just that creek and a bunch of trees in the way. Ended up catching the bottom of the basket. So here's my sister and my niece right here. We're going to see who can throw it further. Yeah. All right, so tapping in for another par. So hole 12, par 4, pretty long par 4 here, 400 and some change, but going to be a huge horseshoe one. So going to make a pretty sharp left turn. So I was trying to throw it high and then I'm catching one of these branches. Those ninja branches are just out to get you. And she was out to get me as well. So here we go. But I was in the fairway, happy about that, just pretty long, maybe like 275 from it through a sidearm. And as you can tell, it is a very well guarded green. You do have an opening to the left, so through that forehand, ended up making that putt, so I was really excited about that. All right, so 243, another one that's going to be a creek on the right, creek right behind the basket. This is a pretty challenging one. And I ended up shanking it. Ended up just missing my gap completely to the right. And then luckily I was not OB. I was just shy of the creek. So throwing a roller, trying to get out of there. I was hoping it would be back like hole 1 or 2 when I had to throw a roller to save and scramble. Had a decent look at it. Just come up a little bit high, bouncing off. So taking a bogey here. All right, hole 14. This one's going to be close to 290. You're going to see me kind of move off to the side because there is creeks there with bridges and stuff like that, but this is kind of an island green. So once again, very tight gap. This one is pretty straightforward shot, and I ended up just being kicked by one of these trees. So taking my medicine, probably another triple bogey there. I don't know. My putt double, they're working on their game right now. So hole 15, this one's roughly 280. Once again, gonna be having to play with that creek. You're gonna have to cross over it 2 times, and then right behind the basket is the creek again, so it kind of forms another island green. But I ended up hitting one of those trees, got kicked on top of the hill, had a look at it, and ended up just shy of making to the island, but luckily I didn't go in the creek. So putting from across the creek to the basket, and I just absolutely loved how these last couple holes, how they designed it using the creek as well. Just a very, very unique way, and adding the trees in as well just makes it super difficult. So hole 16, pretty short one, but going uphill, really tight gap. Surprise, surprise on the tight gap, right? But here's my sister playing from the reds. Gonna record her on this one. And that's my other niece that she's holding as well, so don't worry, no babies were harmed in the making of this video. But here I am, laying up, throwing an envy. Ended up just catching the trees to the right. And I'm gonna leave myself a little short, long putt. She ended up catching one of the branches. Now she has not hit a tree yet though, so I will give her props on that. And there she goes, finally getting it. All right, so to save par, and I was able to sink that one in. Felt good putting today. So hole 17, 302. Gonna be just kind of a small right turning shot that you're gonna need to throw. So I'm trying to throw backhand, and this one ended up getting a unique tree kick twice, and then I got kicked left just out of the fairway, and had a weird look from there, but was able to run it. After I did this turbo putt, my sister was asking how to do it, so you're going to see her practice on the next one. But hole 18, I apologize, I did not get the time lapse on this one, totally spaced it, but had this one's going to be another shot that you have to flex, and that Crave turned up, went through the tree gap, that kind of like where my sister landed right here. Ended up getting through that gap somehow and sliding maybe 10 feet away from the basket. So I was excited. There it is right there. And there's our turbo putt. And here we go, tapping in for another birdie. All right, guys, just finished up here at South Springs Disc Golf Course in Flint, Texas. One of the harder woods courses that I've played so far, playing from the Golds. But this was also done with the Sarah Hokum Crave challenge that I was doing, because I talked about in the beginning that you guys have a chance to win the autographed version of this. Is not the disc, don't worry. And then also that purple zone that I talked about in the beginning. But back to the course, this, like I said, very, very tough woods course. The back nine was a little bit shorter than the front nine, but still just as challenging. The creek, the way that they used it, they designed this course perfectly. All the extra features, the way to navigate, the AstroTurf tee pads, just a phenomenal course in Flint, Texas, at South Springs Baptist Church. So if you guys ever get a chance, definitely put this one on your playlist or your favorite if you do enjoy a woods course, because this is one that you will not want to miss out. Thank you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Take care.